Hi everybody, it's Lace here, and we're going to start off like we're a brand new player, which is going to happen in R32. Before you used to do your character customization and then your naming, and now you're going to do your name at first, and then you're going to go into the Isle of Storms, and there you can set your character appearance. Keep in mind you can change your character appearance later by visiting one of the new U shops. In doing so, it will cost you gold crowns of the obsidians. Kodos as people like to call them, which depending on your pledge level you would have some in your bank. So you won't be able to do that right when you first step in. You're going to have to go and find a bank and stuff like that if you want to change it later. But basically that's how it's going to work. So I'm just going to type in the name here of the character I'm going to create. And keep in mind, for those people who remember recalling from their pledges that names would be reserved, if you have created a character name and, at one point during the last, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months, that name is now tied to your account and nobody else can get that name. So the name reservation phase that usually is part of a rush of a launch of a game has actually already taken place behind the scenes. I think the pledges said, you could reserve your last name. Well, it's actually your whole character name is reserved and tied to your account already. So you don't have to worry about that and, flood the server because you want to have a name. So I'm going to use this character name that I've already had. This is a little smile out for Amber Rain. She's a Joan Jett fan, and so Jet Blackheart. I mean, that's just a cool sounding name. The name Jet's cool to me. And then Blackheart, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Blackheart Records. So Jet Blackheart. It also sounds like you have a black heart, and it's jet black. So anyway, moving along, I'm just going to create that character, and then I'm going to be zoning into the Isle of Storms. So here I am. I think they're still doing some more polishes on these scenes, and right now your starting position is funneling everyone to Solus, I believe is what we're going to find, regardless of how we talk to this mysterious woman. I believe some of the dialogues and stuff, and just how the interactions and help, I think that's still being polished. So this is no way going to be exactly how it is at launch, because launch is still months away. This is just final wipe coming up. Things to point out, like I've talked about, see, it says Arabella, and, well, that's who this mysterious woman's going to be when I click on her. I'm just going to open this up a little bit so we can read a little more. And she's going to tell you a little bit about herself. It says you will need to find the mirror she mentioned to fully manifest. When it says fully manifest, that means actually set your character appearance. Walking up the path to the east looks promising. So, look, there's a little marker, it looks like. It's saying there's the mirror. As a point of interest, it now appears on your compass as well. So there you go. And I've talked about how nice the compasses are. So we'll go up the path here, follow this path to find the mirror she mentioned. This is my first time looking at this, so I might be going ooh ah, and you might be going, oh, well, I've already seen that. But this is my first time creating a new character since this has been in place. So double click the mirror to use it. It says this mirror is ahead. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm going to double click the mirror. And as it's showing this mirror building map, this is basically what you'll see in the new U. I think the background scenery looks more like a barber shop than what we see here. But this is how I'll set how my character is going to look. I'm going to spend a few minutes on this, so I'm going to pause this out so you don't have to be bored with it. But it's your basic, set the color of your skin, do your hair, do your eyes, mouth, cheeks, nose, jaw, things like that. These are not fully implemented. Expect to see more further character customizations down the road the next few months, but this is what's there for right now. Just for grins, there we go. That's what my character ended up looking like. Looks a little bit like Joan Jett, I think, maybe from the front, the side. I don't know if the jaw's right, but hey, there's my artistic attempt at that. So I'm just going to hit finish. It's going to say, are you sure? Yep, I'm sure. And then it's going to zone us back out to Love Storms. So when I got done with, customizing my character look, I ran back to the mirror because I wanted to see if I could change it while I was still in here, and you cannot. So when it says done, you are done. That might be nice if they made it just unlimited changes while you're still inside this first starting scene. That might be nice to maybe give them some feedback on that, because the mirror's still there. It doesn't show up on my compass, but I did go up to it and try to click it, and I could not change my character again. So, just something, food for thought. I suppose alternatively, since we haven't really done anything, I could escape, go back to the menu, relog in, delete this character, and remake it. and then redo the mirror. But since it's already here, it just would be, more convenient, in my personal humble opinion, if I could do that. So there we go with that. So since Arabella's talking to me and she's wanting to tell me about my destiny and avatar, new people are going to go, well, avatar, what's that? Well, obviously that's your representation. And she's going to talk about Lord British and stuff and calling us an outlander because we're from Earth. And you can click through all this stuff. I'm not going to bore you with me clicking every little detail. Brand new, you should read this. You should probably click on everything. It'll give you a little bit of the backstory if you don't know who Lord British is. Things like that. It's going to talk about your destiny. And when you're ready to begin, then she's going to do something that's going to basically set your path. And we have 3 different paths, and depending on how you answer, it's going to put you on that path for now. This does not mean that you can't do the other 2 paths. It's just going to give you a starting path. You can absolutely do the other ones, so don't feel like you're blocked in. Oh my goodness, I'm on the path of love and I can't do courage. Yes, you can. They're not all finished right now, but yes, you can. You will be able to. So I'm just going to hit ready to begin. And she's going to ask me some questions, and here it says your answers will help shape where you begin. There are no wrong answers. I think, like I said, everything's going to take me to one place right now. I don't know if that's going to be true for R32 as well, but I usually like to go courage, so I'll just say truth on this one, and then I'm going to say courage. I'm not really reading these. I've done it a few times, and I'm going to go courage because that's where I want to end up, is courage. Courage is going to give me, I believe, blades. I believe love gives bow and arrow, and I believe, what was the other one? Courage, love. Wow, I'm just not thinking. Truth, I think, is the magic one. Just as a spoiler hint, spoiler alert, sorry, I probably should have said that ahead of time. But again, you could do all 3, and it's just going to help your starter weapons and stuff. So no wrong answers, don't worry. It says, as a point of interest, the rift now appears on your compass as well. If I look, now I can see the compass. Now my mirror lit back up. Let's go see if we can go to the mirror again. It's on the way to the rift, so I'm just curious. So we'll test this out together. Since it lit back up again, it almost makes me think that we could use it again. Nope. Wrong answer. Okay. Oh, well. So we're going to go to the rift. Ah, the rift looks different. Soon you will meet the oracle. Or maybe this isn't the rift. Oh, it's a new thing. See? Something new. You can go in here and you can talk to the oracle. You're not going to talk to the oracle in here, but this is kind of how it would look as an inside. It'll be inside player towns, player-owned towns, NPC towns, and stuff like that. You'll see confirmatories. That's further into the game than we're going to cover here. This is the rift that she's talking about, and all I have to do is just double click it, and it's going to take me, you can see where it's going to take you, to the Battle of Solus Bridge. So let me just pause here so we don't have zoning going on for a long time. One thing I failed to mention, and it might be a little bit late now, is it was WSAD keys to move. It did flash that across the screen. And then also you can hit the plus button to go into, and that's on your number keyboard, to go into an auto run. So here I'm being told you hear faint crying. You can hear a child from the, to the east. There's something in this building. So we're going to go in here, and first thing I'm going to show you is thieving. At some point there may be consequences, but look, I can get mugs and plates and stuff. Some of you guys might know this from Fallout. It's talking about a letter here. So it's very important to read in this first scene about, just read everything that you're seeing here. Do what it's telling you. It's a pretty hand-holding kind of walkthrough. I can take this letter and I can drag it into my inventory if I want to keep it for sentimental reasons. Look, there's an inkwell. Yay! What's under here? Looks like there's a little pewter jug there. Anyway, we know there's a child somewhere around here. See, she's screaming. It's on fire. I can open this door, ignore the child, break open some containers. We've kind of showed that in some of the other tutorials and stuff, that those are breakable. Hopefully they'll be itemized at some point someday. At least I would like that. I can grab this book. I can grab this candle. I can turn this candle off and on. I can get things out of these dressers. I can get something out of this chest if I want. I'm not going to take anything right now, but I'm just showing that you can. I can go and sit on this chair. I can lay on this bed. Oh, it's out of reach, probably because it's on fire. Also, I'm in combat, and if I double-click on this kid, it's going to say, watch where you point that. Don't be in combat when you're trying to talk to NPCs. So now I can talk to the child. And she's asking me for my name. And you can lie, but I'm going to give her my name. And you can say whether you're going to help her or not. I'm going to say yes. And it says you received an item summoned from your summon item. So let's look at that. I've never seen that. Let's see what that says. I'm just going to go into my filter. Summon Charlotte Gray. So the way that I could do that was drag it to my bar. If I did this, and that's how I would be able to summon her if I lose her, I guess. That's what that's for. So we've, oh, I guess there we go. So summon. Well, where is she? Oh, there she is. She's sneaky. So now I'm going to go out here, and she's going to be following me. Keep her safe. So don't go running off like I just did, because she's slow. Come on, Pokey. Let's go. We're going to go out here, and obviously we're going to want to exit the scene. There's nothing flashing telling me to go anywhere and stuff. So there's some bodies I could loot if I wanted to. We're going to keep this tutorial short. And now it says this gate needs a key to use the switch. Double click the guard's body. Well, there's only this body here. So if I click it, oh, it looks like there's some other stuff in here. When you see these things that are blue in their name, typically I believe the idea behind that is to indicate that they are quest items. So I'm going to take all on that, and I'm going to open the gate. But before I open the gate, I want to talk a little bit about how the new combat is, and there might be some settings that you're going to want to hit. What I want to show you first are the controls. So I'm going to hit escape, which is going to bring up this menu. Controls, this is a good thing to look at just to familiarize yourself with it. We kind of talked about the WSAD to walk, and you'll see that. Is that in here? I thought that was in here. Maybe it's not. Title screen. Yeah, well, there's your next target, next ally, next target ally. So that you can use that for like healing and stuff. Next target, obviously, that's going to be going through the mobs. This toggle cursor tab, what this is going to do, if I hit escape, when I hit the tab key, now I'm not doing anything but moving my mouse, and so that's how I can adjust what I'm targeting. And if I was in combat, there'd be a little red cursor if there were some mobs here, and I could kind of see which ones I'm aiming at. I'm going to go out of combat. I'm going to hit the tab key again, and now to move my mouse, I'm right clicking to do the swinging of the mouse. When you're in combat and you have that tabbed on, where like this, where just moving my mouse, it makes a lot of people dizzy. So if that's turned on by default or anything, you might want to unclick that if you find that, you know, that's what's going on and you're in combat and it's making you dizzy. Another thing, let's go into escape again. Game. I'm going to go down to the bottom because this is one of the most important things in combat, and we're getting ready to fight. There is this button here that says use free attack. If enabled, you may charge and release attacks. So what that means is if I left click and I'm on a target and I hold down the left click button, the longer I hold it down, the more power goes into the swing. It doesn't mean I'm going to hit if my 2-hit chance is really low, but that's how you can use charge attacks. A lot of bow people like to use charge attacks. Maybe others do in the two-handed sword area. Me, I like to have my just auto attack going while I'm using skills, maybe because I'm more beginnerish. I don't know, people may say that, the charge people might consider themselves more uber. But anyway, if disabled, double clicking an enemy will cause you to begin auto attacking, provided you have a weapon equipped and things like that, which we don't right now. Auto track skill advancement, what that's going to do is right up here, as you get levels, you're going to see the level that you got in that item, so you can just kind of keep track of what you're doing. Enable low health screen indicator. If you're about to die, the screen starts getting a red shimmer around the outer edges, and I think it might even pulse like a heartbeat, like you're dying and stuff. What's some other important ones? All these are going to mostly be, to your to your taste. Uh, enable transparency on maps. That's that one that I talked about where I was having an issue with the map fading in and out. So if that's unchecked, it's not going to do that to me. So I'm going to keep that unchecked from now on. Hide unlearned NPC names. That's helpful when you're trying to find all the quests in a certain area. Auto decline duels. Most of these, like I said, are self-explanatory. I just want to make sure there's not any more that I'm missing that we might want to check for my preferences. Now, I think that kind of covers it. You can reassign keys and stuff, just like in most games. Your quick keys, that's, your bar across here when you're in combat and stuff. So I think that covers that. Mostly I just want to talk about accidentally hitting that tab, because a lot of people might be used to tab targeting. And if you're tab targeting, well, now you're in crazy mouse look. And if I get out of it, now I'm back to kind of a more stable, almost like if you were in a tab targeting type of game where you tab targeted to select the next mob. That's not exactly how it is, but just to give you an idea. So I'm going to open this little gate here, and this guy's been like beckoning me, and I'm going to double click on him, talk to him, and that's a little small for me, so I'm going to go over to tab 1 to see it better. Where is it at? Okay. He's saying the undead, hold the bridge, you're going to need to get a weapon before we go much further. He goes, there's a bow behind me, once you take it, I'll give you some arrows, and we can move on. However, if you look, and I actually had to do this twice to reshoot it, because I was like, well, why is he giving me a bow? I don't want a bow. Well, there are other things. Look, there's a little shield, and, it's yelling at me, get a weapon, get a weapon. What is this? This is a sword. There's a pole arm. There's a mace. So you got a bludgeon, you got a pole arm, and you got a sword. I'm going to grab the sword. It says now that you've equipped it, you can try it on the dummy. I think they took the dummies out, so that's probably something that's just vestigial left in the game, and they'll probably get that removed. But I do want to make sure it's equipped. So I'm going to hit C for character, and it did automatically equip for me. That's nice and convenient as I'm starting out. So I've got my weapon. And so I'm ready to talk to him. I won't need arrows. I guess you could grab all these things if you want. I guess I could get a shield too, huh? Since I only have a sword. I guess we'll pick up the shield too, just for a little extra protection. Let's talk to him. Double click on the bow. Well, he just really wants me to take that darn bow, apparently. All right. Let's make sure that doesn't equip on us. No, good. Okay, we still got our sword equipped. He really wants me to take that bow. He really wants it. So I'm going to double click on him. And he says, are you ready to cross the bridge? Make sure you've got your kind of settings set up, because we are getting ready to fight. So I'm going to say ready. And it says, now I'm escorting Edward. So not only am I responsible for a small child, now I've got an elderly man. That they're all depending on me to cross this bridge. We can see the monsters coming. So I'm going to hit Z, get in combat. And I'm going to go beat on this guy. And I'm double clicking him because I have my auto attack. See the little red reticule, as they call them? So that's coming in. So now I'm going to hit 1 because these are my combat skills. I'm going to hit 2. And then there's my things that I'm learning coming up. He's dead. I'm still wailing on him because I'm pointing at stuff. But I'm wailing at, oh, Edward's out there fighting. Well, we can't let him have all the fun. Come here. We're going to kill these things. Don't take all my experience, you little thiever. Go. Alright, so now he's running so fast I'm not going to get to loot, and I'm like, I was panicked about that when I first did this, when I was trying to test this out before I talked about it, since I had never done it this new way. You are going to get to come back and loot these things. Don't try to loot them and have him running off and then you lose them and you have to restart or something. So we will come back and loot everything. Alright, so banging away on that, and I'm just hitting 1, 2, 3, 4 with that with the setup that I showed you, how I set my thing up. It's not too hard. My health's a little low, my focus is a little low. Focus is the blue bar, my health is the red bar. To get focus, I'd have to go out of combat and kind of stand there, and it'll come back over time. But we have pretty much wiped out all these people. The little girl's still alive, the old guy, he's still alive, and he's just running away. Come back here. Okay, it says you've made it to safety. Put your bow away with the Z key, which we've kind of already talked about the Z key. That unsheath, and he's going to want me to talk to him. Well, I don't want to talk to him. I want to go get that loot, but let's see what happens. I'll click him. Oh, there we go. Now I don't have to worry about the little girl anymore. She's run off home. Excellent. And he says he has a boat. He says there's people I can help. And we rescued Charlotte. Well, we don't want to leave yet, like I said. Oops. So we are going to run back here. Now you can loot undead or dead people that were already there. I could take all his money. Again, there may be consequences later for looting the dead. I don't know. Then there's the mobs that we killed. I can double click on them, take all their money. It's kind of showing you that. We ran past the scene pretty quick because we were fighting so hard. But look, I can click on these bags. There's a guided tour, there's candle, there's boots, there's metal scrap, there's all kinds of things that I can interact with in the world. There's more dead bodies. So you can go back and explore. Don't feel rushed, even though he kind of rushes you through. I'm just going to run back to him and pretty much end this, I think. I don't know if we have to talk to him again. Let's just double click to make sure. Because like I said, I haven't been here in a while. Welcome again, ask any questions. Well, he's already told us there's a boat. And, well, good thing I clicked on him. He says there's a boat on the bridge that'll take you to Soul Town where you will meet a guard named Stanley. Once you do, I have a favor to ask of you. Well, that sounds like a quest to me. So I'm going to click on him, and I've made notes. And you can open your journal with a J key, which we kind of already covered. You received a map of Ardoris, his notes on Soulless Bridge, and a map of Soul Town from Edward. And if you remember from our previous videos, if I click on this map, now this is a map of Soulless Bridge. I'm using my mouse wheel to scroll in and out. And because I unchecked that transparency thing, it's not fading on me. And again, these are all like in Runic right now. Again, I don't know if there's plans to actually make them readable where it defines what these things are. Or you can spend a few months learning Runic. That's up to you. But, so he's given me some stuff. He's told me there's a boat under the bridge. Here's the little bridge. That's the bridge that we just crossed is what he's referring to. And voila, there is the boat. So that pretty much covers the opening scene. And I hope it gave you a couple little pointers. Some things to look for and stuff like that. It's going to now take us to Soul Town, and that's pretty much where I'm going to end this video. So I just materialized from my little boat into Soul Town. It's talking about first steps. Let's see what this says. I can't read it from this far away. Talking about eye for your inventory, the player handbook. This is something important. This is actually a very important thing. New player handbook. Clicking on this. It's broken down, introduction, getting started, go back a page, tips for new players. So it's, some people don't like to read the manual. It's worth your time. Player events. There are weekly events that happen all the time. There are special events. So like weekly events, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't know. What's today? Friday? I think today's Friday. So here we go. We know that there's always a challenge run. On these times, we know there's PvE nights, we know there's a PvP event here, and then there's an astronomy night. I like the astronomy. It's pretty cool looking at the sky. I learned a lot, so I would always check that out at some time if you don't want to hunt. But here you got PvE, PvP on Friday nights. These are currently the scheduled events that are all player run. Players will, create their events on the forums and stuff, and you need to create them with some time in advance, and then they will get into the next book publish. That's usually each release. So you probably want to, plan things out in a month. If it's recurring, then you can note it that way. What else we got in here? The known issues. If if you think you've encountered a bug, go through the issues that they have. They've, got that in your inventory for you. So we did handbook and player guide. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. You can just see there's just tons of things to go over. Very long. It's going to be worth your time. Probably decks and deck building, deck creation, player. I mean, there's just a million things to go over. You can also get a PDF version from the forums and stuff. You can find a link to that, but that'll help you out as well. These are the things we just got. Oh, look, we have 250 arrows weighing 12.5 pounds. Ooh, we're going to get rid of those. That's a lot of weight because, as you see, our weight's 92 carry capacity, and we're already 64.6 because we had to steal all those mugs and stuff. Anyway, we're in Soul Town. You'll start off and you're going to talk to this guy, and he's going to go, lo and behold, I am Stanley. And he's going to ask me my name, and I'm not going to do all that right now. That would be continuing through the quest. You got a map of this area. You're going to want to go around and explore, talk to people. That's what you're going to do. Talk, talk, talk. So we're going to pretend that I talked to Stanley. I've talked to everybody in that little camp. You can see some of the player housing that's up right now. Expect it to be pretty barren at the start of R32 since everybody has to claim their land based on their pledge level. So it'll take a while for everything to get filled up like it is now. What else to point out? These watchers, they'll like run up to you and get on your face and they're scanning you. It makes me feel like Big Brother's watching me. They're going to play in with the Oracle and stuff. That all's not in the game yet, but just so you know, that's what's going to happen when you see all these guys. I'm just running to the main part of Soul Town just to give you an overview. In any NPC town, there's always going to be a town crier. He's useful for a couple things. He can give me a quest to deliver mail if I'd like help, and he can also give me information on lots. Okay, maybe because there's a banker here, he's not doing double duty, but it's going to tell me how many lots. There's no lots available because, you know, people have already claimed all these things up. But if I click one, let's pretend this one was open or available, I can hit set compass destination, and do you see that little green thing that went there? That's going to point me to where that lot is. Additionally, when I got up on a lot, one of the keys that you can hit is you can hit the P key, and the P key will send a plume up if there's open areas. Like if this one wasn't claimed, I would see a plume of smoke coming up from the marker where you would claim it. So that's just a little helpful tip that, you know, is a little easier to show visually than trying to read that in the manuals and stuff. So again, I think maybe it's only in POTs that these guys serve as banker and town crier. There is a banker here. There's people to talk to and stuff. I'll just show you the banker where he's at real quick. I believe he's in here. I think it's a she. Yeah, banker. Oh, it's a robot. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was a she. Maybe it used to be. But anyway, that's where you could get your pledge items and stuff that, you know, came with your thing. Or you can store your stuff. You got a little piano that you can play music on. Music's a whole nother thing. Like, well, hey, let's just do it. Let's just play. I don't know if my sounds are up. We'll find out. So, okay, so hold on. Wait. I got to start this all over just for you guys. Just because it's Pat Benatar. Anyway, you can play the piano when you're in the bars and stuff. Alright, so enough of me playing around here. Let me get up. So we showed you the banker. There's where you would get your skills. Probably one of the most important skills to train first. I don't think I have much money. I didn't get enough to even train because I only have 30 gold. But probably one of the most important skills you're going to want to train is you're going to want to get strength to 10 so that you can then train heavy lifter so that your carry capacity goes up. That's to me, that's just one of the most important ones. So there's where you can find the trainer for that. We've got some crafting tables over here if you get into that. Another thing that players are looking for first off is trying to find some containers to place on their lot. This merchant here has them. You will have to pay for them, but you can, you know, they're 200 a piece. Once you get your first housing area, you're going to want some chests. That's a cheap place to get them here in Soul Town. Remember all those bags and sacks that we just saw in there? These are, you know, you can double click on them to see if there's anything in them. Okay, I'm not going to take it. Again, there's stealables in here, like this clay jar. There's a little bottle. I'm already getting heavy, but I'm just kind of trying to point out some highlights here. There's your master range trainer. If I hit K for skills and I go into combat and he's ranged, what am I looking for? Range. When it says master, that means training these lower end of the levels. Regular adventure trainers will train this upper group. They train the masters. What else is good to point out here? I think just going around and exploring and talking to everybody, getting your quests and doing them, should give you a pretty good start. And I think that's it. So take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.